Hey, whoa, hi, it's been a minute, huh? Well, thanks for sticking around, all 10 of you. This video here is a follow-up to my virtual tabletop rundown from last year, specifically about what's been going on with the RPG engine, and let me tell you, the architect has been busy. Now, I don't really have any intention of covering everything that's happened in the community in the last 6 months, and patch 30 literally dropped about 2 hours ago at the time of writing, but there are some important things that we need to talk about regarding the release and some of the things I said about modding in the last video. Does this mean that I'm walking back my recommendation? Absolutely not. I use the RPG engine weekly now. It has replaced Tabletop Simulator completely for role-playing games in my group, and the features that are actually there far outstrip anything I've seen in other VTTs. All things considered, the RPG engine is the most feature-packed three-dimensional virtual tabletop available on the market. It's not really a high bar to clear, considering the vast majority of their competition is still in pre-early access, but that's still an achievement for 3 people. Oh, and one last thing before we actually start. I got a comment from a Reddit post which implies that I was paid to talk about the VTTs in my last video. I was not. In fact, the RPG engine didn't even have a marketing manager until after my original video went out. These groups aren't scrambling to market themselves because of one D&D, and in fact, most VTTs seem to really care less about what happened with the OGL, so there's that. In October, when I had originally written the original video, Steam Early Access notes indicated that the RPG engine would be released in December of 2022. Polydemons blew right past that, given now it's March 2023, and at the time of writing, the Steam page indicates that the game should be completed in the first quarter of 2023, which means that the deadline is rapidly approaching again. Ultimately, this is just the nature of early access content. There's one active developer working on this project at any given time, so the game is sort of done when it's done. Preferably though, Polydemons will either announce an official release date soon, or will stop implying that the game will be completed entirely. I personally view the tools like this to be a live service, so I expect there to be more and more updates added even after its release. Okay, well if that's true, then why are we even talking about it? Well, ideally, when a developer says that a project will be done by a given time, we want to take them at their word. If you aren't going to keep your word, then announcing as much goes a long way in helping the community believe that our investment will have a return. Hi, it's me from the edit, just to let you know that they announced a list of things that would need to get done before launch, which is as follows. Group Select, the ability to grab more than one object at a time, a sorely missed feature. Keybinds, another must-have. This one is coming in the next patch, it sounds like. A player manager, presumably a tool for the GM to manage players with. And polish, lots of polish. Animations need polished, the map menu needs to be polished, the new health bar labels needs to be polished, and so on. One thing that I can't help but notice is that there's no specific mention of mod support, and hopefully this video helps remind them about it. They also confirmed in that same announcement, though, that the launch is not the end of development. So like I was saying, launch is really just a fancy title for polished in this case. So, as we are all aware, it's been about 6 months since the last time we talked about how the RPG engine functions. In that time, I've been lucky enough to run a bi-weekly GURPS game in the Reign of Steel setting, more on that another time, and play in a fantasy game graciously hosted by my girlfriend. Unfortunately, I have zero capability for foresight, so when my campaign came to an end, I chose to delete all of my maps before getting any real footage of them to show off here. Instead, we can look at the handful that my girlfriend made. You know, as a treat. good maps, huh? So, what's next? Well, we're basically ticking down the days until release now. The devs seem to have a clear vision of what they want to do next, and they don't seem to be slowing down on their content creation anytime soon. So now we just wait. Obviously, the big thing on my wish list is a more robust mod support system. As it stands now, the process of importing models directly into the game is a little bit strange, possibly involving Blender fuckery if you have poor luck. And like I said, there's no way to add new models through the workshop, which means that most users will have to rely on making their own kit-bashed models, a skill that not every user is willing to cultivate. It'll be another 6 months of tRPGe for me, though I'm planning on starting up a new campaign in the aforementioned Reign of Steel setting. We're gonna mess around with some non-atmospheric maps. My friends also have their own sci-fi games, so hopefully next time we do this I'll have more than just my girlfriend's maps to show off. In fact, Saturday morning at 6 AM Pacific Standard Time, I'm gonna start doing some work on map making for the first game of the new Reign of Steel campaign, so be here then for that stream. But I think that's all I have to say about the RPG engine for a little while now, at least. And making this video was a bit of a pain, because the devs have a habit of updating the game and fixing my complaints. In the meantime, I have some more projects cooking, so it'll probably be less than 6 months between uploads this time. I'm juggling some stuff between learning how to code in C#, how to use Blender, and running campaigns for my friends, so if I can get the brain to function, expect a fun breakdown of the Reign of Steel setting next.